Sup, ladies and gentlemen, Akalon here, and welcome back to each and every one of you. And of course, if you are new to the channel, thank you so much for joining us. I am very happy to have you here. Of course, you are watching another one of the topics that came from the Sunday night Shill show. By popular demand, I put out the topics that we discuss as individual videos because there's a lot of people that just don't want to sit through a 5.5, almost 6 hour live stream to get the information that is most relevant to World of Warcraft. So if you're one of those people, hey, I hope you enjoyed this video. Today's topic, of course, we are talking about souls, and why do some souls go to the Maw, just directly to the Maw, do not pass go, and why do others not? Now, before you think, Akalon, this is a topic that everyone has discussed before, we're not talking about irredeemable souls. More specifically, we're asking the question, why was Sylvanas' soul considered irredeemable when she jumped off the top of Icecrown Citadel? What exactly happened there, and what could potentially be the answer to why some souls just seem to do not pass go, do not collect $200, just fuck off straight into the Maw. So hopefully you have some thoughts as well, because that's the whole point of me putting out these videos. Remember, you can catch me live every Sunday right here on YouTube for the Sunday night Shill show, or every Tuesday to Friday on Twitch, link in the description down below. And with that said, please remember to slap a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, because it does help out, and more importantly, like the most important thing, enjoy the video. This is a question that I've been receiving a little bit less than the question about the fucking cosmological map, right? But still enough that I sort of knew this had to be addressed at some point. We're talking, of course, about Sylvanas Windrunner, and I'm not in this video going to shill for Sylvanas. That's not the purpose of this video. In fact, I'm answering a very specific question. I'm using Sylvanas as sort of a conduit to get into the theory, but it's actually got very little to do with Sylvanas as a whole. That is, of course, why do some souls skip the Arbiter and go straight to the Maw? And more specifically, why Sylvanas? Now, we've been told that it is irredeemable souls that make their way to the Maw, right? These are souls that the Shadowlands can do nothing with, right? So if these souls were to go to any of the other covenants, those souls would most likely lead to corruption rather than actually taking forward the covenant or helping the covenant out, right? So these are irredeemable souls that have to be sent to the Maw. We know that this is rare. This does not happen often. But we do know of one specific circumstance where this did indeed happen. And that is with Sylvanas Windrunner. Now, there's a couple of things that we have to lay out, lay all of our cards on the table, so to speak, so that this can make more sense at the end of all of this. During Age of Night, we are told that Sylvanas jumps off the top of Icecrown Citadel, falls to her death on the Saronite spikes at the bottom, and then is awakened in a state of nothingness. When she opens her eyes, she sees nothing. And then the Valkyr come to her and they make her an offer that she accepts. And then over the course of her life, she runs through these Valkyr far quicker than maybe she should have. But still, this is what we heard, right? The only other thing we know is that Sylvanas felt a presence. Arthur's as a child, she felt a presence. This is all we knew. And then she was back and she was doing her own thing again. Now, of course, years later, Blizzard would come and they would retcon this. And Blizzard would say that was actually the first time Sylvanas met with Zovaal, the jailer. There's something far more pertinent and important that happened even before that. Why was Sylvanas banished instantly to the Maw? Now, many of you might look at it now and say, well, she's evil, bro. But that Sylvanas was not evil. That Sylvanas was not evil. Remember, that Sylvanas sacrificed herself effectively at the end for her people. Well, she didn't sacrifice herself, but she fought so valiantly against Arthas that out of frustration and spite, he turned her into a banshee. Right? So she did everything she could to protect her people. After she became the Dark Lady, she helped her people break free from the whispers of the Lich King, if you will, the control that the Lich King has over them. She helped them break out, right? Sylvanas had done everything she possibly could to try and defeat the Lich King. Now, she did some bad things, let's be real. We've also found out that the Wrathgate incident, she was aware of what they were doing there. In fact, some of the reveals we've gotten from BlizzCon is that she may have orchestrated the Wrathgate. But irredeemable is everything that Sylvanas did, right? Everything that Sylvanas did. Is there something that we can point to and say, no, that was irredeemable? I don't believe so. I've gone through everything that she did, everything that she did after she died. There's definitely nothing before she died, right? Before she died, there is absolutely nothing that she did that was irredeemable. After her death, you could point to a bunch of things that's maybe a little bit, might raise some eyebrows, but irredeemable, not so much. There are people that did far worse things. Garrosh, for example, did far worse things than Sylvanas, right? And he is in Revendreth. Remember, we're talking about two different Sylvanas here. Sylvanas killing herself, right? Jumping off the top of Icecrown Citadel should not have led to her going straight to the Maw. So why the fuck did that happen? Right? Why did that happen? So I then went and I said, okay, maybe it has to do with Frostmourne. Maybe Frostmourne is the most, the missing link here. Maybe when you get raised by Frostmourne, your soul is automatically scarred, right? And the way to explain the scarring process, I said, let's look at necromancy. Necromancy is considered a very dangerous type of magic. Most people are considered evil who wield it. Those who do wield it, you can look sort of, when you want to understand necromancy's place in the universe, you can look at what people say about Fel. Those who practice Fel magic or use the Fel needs to be very careful not to be corrupted. This is one of the reasons they removed the demon form from warlocks, because a warlock that turns into a fucking demon is already, he's gone too far, right? At that point, the fuck are you doing, right? You're supposed to stop way before that, right? And so, yeah, there is just, there's unfortunately, with necromancy, it's the same thing. It's a very tempting magic. Death tempts a lot. And if you give into it, you can go too far. You can lose yourself. So I thought, okay, maybe necromancy leaves a scar on the soul. But then as people pointed out to me that I completely forgot about, and the reason I say I forgot about it is I made a video about Alexandros Mograine 3 weeks ago. And then when I came up with my theory last week, I completely forgot about Alexandros Mograine. He is a clear-cut example of someone that was raised by Frostmourne as a Death Knight and is now serving in Maldraxxus. So again, we are left with this, okay, so fuck it. It might not be Frostmourne, and it is not necromancy. There's still a problem. Why did Sylvanas skip the Arbiter? What happened there? For this, I'm once again, I just saw that meme of, I think it's the meme of Bernie Sanders standing there and then it's like, I'm once again asking you for money. That meme, I just saw that meme flashing through my, but you can replace any politician there and they all ask for money all the time. But I was seeing that meme as I say, but I'm once again standing at the precipice of wanting to show you this cinematic. So fuck you all. You're going to watch another cinematic with me. I know you've seen this a million times. I don't care. I like this cinematic and I'm going to use the cinematic to show you something. Sylvanas Warbringer. Here we go. Here's what I thought this could be. And I'm going to make the Playback speed nice and slow. I'll mute this. But here's what I think this could have been. So Sylvanas is at this point being killed. We see Frostmourne sucking in her soul. So you can see Frostmourne reacting there at the back, right? Frostmourne is reacting. You can see her soul is being pulled from her body into the blade, right? You see all of her being pulled into the blade. And then you see what comes out of it. So I thought, okay, so maybe the only way to explain why Sylvanas did not go to the Arbiter is what Frostmourne left. Now, we know that that this can happen with Frostmourne, right? We know that souls can be split. When you look at Uther's cinematic, we see a splitting happening, right? We can see that the soul is being split. So what if Frostmourne did the exact same thing to Sylvanas? And we've discussed this before, right? We have discussed this before. I've pointed this out before, and a lot of people had different arguments about this, right? But you can clearly see that what goes into Frostmourne is not what comes out of Frostmourne in the cinematic. Take another look. This is innocence. She is dying, and she is seeing her world dying. That's the face. It's complete horror for what is happening to her world, to her people, to her. Blizzard even shows us what she thinks about. This is the last thing she looks at. She sees a mother and her child that she had tried to save dead. Right? So there is quite clearly something different here. What comes out of this blade, that is irredeemable. The part of Sylvanas that could have been saved, that would have led to her waking up most likely in Maldraxxus. You could even argue Ravendwraith would be a better fit for the Dark Lady. That part was destroyed by Frostmourne, or maybe even still lies within Frostmourne. So I believe that this is the Sylvanas. This is why Sylvanas skipped the Arbiter entirely. The portions of her soul that would have made its way to the Arbiter after she jumped off the top of Icecrown Citadel. Remember, guys, there's something you have to remember about why she jumped off the top of Icecrown Citadel. When she stood at the top of Icecrown Citadel with Arthas dead, her life was over. The hatred that had burnt inside of her, that had kept her going one foot in front of the other every single day, it was now over. There was nothing left to live for. Does that not sound like someone that has had their humanity stripped, their happiness stripped from them? So they only live for vengeance. That's all they give a shit about. They want the vengeance. So she jumped off the top of Icecrown Citadel. But when she was in the Maw, a new reason for living presented itself to her. All this hatred, all this anger, all this vile. Is it vile or bile? Bile, I believe. All this just uncaged rage, if you will, once again had a direction. She could once again direct this towards something that needed to be defeated. So to everyone that's been asking me so fucking long now, why did Sylvanas skip the Arbiter? That is my answer. And I realize it's a bit of a long-winded answer, but I kind of had to explain how I got to it. But of course, I want to hear from you guys. Yay, nay on the theory? Do you guys have a different theory that might be better than mine? I'm sure you do. And I would love to fucking hear it.